and welcome to your messages this week. Today is Sunday, the 20th of October, 2024. I had to think there for a minute. And welcome to your messages. Excuse me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new to my channel, welcome back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Deborah Jane Sutton, and you can find out more about me and the things that I do from this YouTube channel, of course, from Facebook, Deborah Jane Sutton, and from my website, deborahjanesutton.com, where you will find a copy, a PDF version, a free copy of my first book, Heal Yourself to Happiness, in PDF version. The paperback and the second book you can get from Amazon, but links in the description. The first book, Heal Yourself to Happiness, totally free from my website at deborahjanesutton.com. So if you are new and you haven't checked that out yet, have a look. It's an introduction to energy healing, basically, to understanding yourself as a multidimensional energy being, understanding the power and importance of taking back control of your energy, understanding your energy and seeing where your power lies. And it is full of ways that you can heal yourself, and it's full of ways that you can raise your frequency. And it explains why knowing that stuff is so important. So yeah, check that out. Anything else I need to say? If you haven't already seen the messages for the month of October, linked in the description, video in the end screen. It's all about thinking with the heart. Our power lies in using our senses. And there were lots of other relevant messages there as well for the whole month and for whenever you see them, hear them. So we have 4 cards out. Let's dive in. Okay. Love this one. So the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess is a major arcana card. Excuse me. And she represents Pisces in the zodiac, which is the most spiritual and flowy of the zodiac signs. She is the most intuitive card in the deck. So this is all about you tapping into your own intuition, not listening to other people, of course. Moons in tarot represent subconscious fears, and she has the moon tethered at her feet, symbolizing that she understands and respects the fears, but she has them under control. She understands what fear is. It's an absence of love. She understands that, the fear does not control her. She is totally aware of how to work with any fear that comes up. And this is an interesting point, actually, because I think we touched on this last week, that if fear is the opposite of love, as we embody more and more of who we are, and we are love, and we're not completely enlightened yet, then the part of us that isn't enlightened in some respect is fear. Because fear really, if we're just using fear as a blanket term to mean anything that isn't true, anything that isn't of divine truth. So understanding this stuff is kind of really important. This card has come to remind us that our intuition is key. We touched on that as well, because of intuition being our senses. It's our sixth sense. If something doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't right for you. Now, this is the other thing that I think we sometimes get confused about, is we find somebody inspiring, right? And we listen to them and their message resonates with us. And that is a sign that it's for us and that we need to heed that message, because it's that resonance, that frequency, what gives us truth bumps, or what makes us go, aha, that's because we're resonating with the frequency of whatever we've heard, whether it be music or inspiring words. It could be a tarot card reading, it could be a podcast we're listening to, but it's that resonance that tells us it's in alignment with us and we need to heed it. If it doesn't resonate, you won't feel anything. And that doesn't mean that we have to then take the advice, even if it's somebody that we've been following for ages. So I say this often with my own readings: activate your own intuition, because if it resonates, it's for you. But just because you've heard an inspiring message in the past from me, for example, or from anyone that you're listening to, or anyone in your family or around you, doesn't mean that everything that comes out of their mouth is for you. Okay, it's anything that comes out of their mouth is for them to share, obviously, if they're in alignment with their divine truth. But that doesn't mean that everything, because a lot of people, I like what that person's saying, I'm going to follow them. Then we follow them, and then they start saying things that don't resonate. And then you think, oh, that means that the teacher's no good. No, it just means that that message wasn't for you. And I think what she's saying to me is understand it's not the teacher that is the point here. It's your resonance and the fact that your intuition is your teacher. She's the most intuitive card, and she's telling us that it's our intuition that is our greatest teacher. Because even when we hear divine truth through other people, it's still your higher self, because we are all connected, right? So it's still your higher self speaking to you. It's still the divine talking to you. But the divine is going to talk to you in different ways. The divine talks to us in so many ways. It talks to us through our feelings, through our excitement, through our joy. It talks to us through our animals. It talks to us through our plants. I mean, a lot of you I know are tree huggers. And especially those of you dominant in second energy center, if you haven't had your soul profile read, you can always get in touch and book a session. But you're the tree huggers. And often my advice to the tree huggers is just ask the tree, is there anything my soul needs to know at this time? And trees will literally talk to you. I mean, I've heard so many gardeners, people that are passionate about these things. Yeah, I mean, I myself have had conversations with some of the plants at the garden retreat. I know it sounds mad, but it isn't mad. You wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't believe in this stuff, or at least part of you. Part of you has been guided here to hear this stuff. Maybe there's just a penny dropping, I don't know. But the divine can talk to you through everything and anything, through the clouds. How many times have you looked at the clouds and thought, oh, that looks like such and such, or that looks like. I went through a stage of doing that. I mean, I'm a big advocate for self-healing, of course, but also part of that self-healing is understanding when it's time to go to somebody else for some healing. And I remember practicing some yoga once, and I was just lying down afterwards and looking at the clouds. So I wasn't thinking anything. I wasn't expecting anything. But what was coming out was some area, I don't know, of my body that needed some kind of attention and love. And I could see a face in the clouds, a face of someone, a friend of mine who was an energy healer. And it just kept appearing. And at first I was like, oh, okay, and let it go. And then it kind of appeared again. And then it was like the third time it appeared, I was like, okay, this is a message from the divine to go to her. And I did. And it was exactly what my body needed in that moment. So the clouds were talking to me through the divine, or the divine, sorry, was talking to me through the clouds. That's all one, right? And that's the important point. So when you hear like your favorite teacher or whatever you want to say, your podcast or whatever, saying something that you don't agree with or you're not in alignment with, like it's okay. Because another way that we learn about ourselves, so self-realization kind of comes twofold. We can hear something that resonates with us, and that tells us it's for us, it's about us, it's self-realization. We can learn about ourselves through that resonance that we have, but also the lack of resonance. So when we are in contrast to something that someone has said, or to some behavior that somebody is displaying, you might see some behavior that you don't agree with. And that just tells you something about yourself, doesn't it? Because when you see or hear something that is not in alignment with you and is not in alignment with your divine truth, then you can observe it instead of judging it. We don't need to judge it, do we? Because that's a big lesson, right? But we can hear it and go, that's not resonating with me. That's not who I am. That's not how I serve. That's not how I want to live my life. That's not, they're not words or actions that I want to bring into my reality or create my future with, right? Because whatever we're doing in the now moment is what's creating our next now moment, isn't it? So the things that we're in contrast to are just as much, they're just as helpful to us self-realizing as the things that we're in resonance to. So let's start looking at the things that we're not resonating with without judgment and just as a confirmation or an understanding that, I'm not like that. I am like whatever the opposite is. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's an interesting message there from the high priestess. Um, just wondering if there's something more about fear. I'm going to see if fear comes up anymore. We've got the Queen of Swords, and she's the let go. Yeah, she's the let go. So she's come on the heels of what I've just said. So she really is about letting go of judgment and letting go of the fear, letting go of the fear. You see, here the clouds show that she wasn't seeing clearly, but here we can see that she is seeing clearly. The skies are clear. We have a butterfly on her throne, and she has butterflies in her crown. And this rope here, she's used her sword to cut ties. So she might have been tied energetically to maybe a past life story or a person in this lifetime or an expectation. She might have been attached to an expectation or a belief. She might have been attached to an identification that she'd made about herself. Now, this came up recently, didn't it? How we identify ourselves. So yeah, she's let go of all of that. She is definitely my let go card. Swords represent mental processes. So they really do mean our thoughts and our beliefs, our ideas. And she's let go of all these thoughts and these ideas. She's let go of them. So yeah, that's a beautiful card to have after this one. And I want to say let go of the fear. Um, but also I'm wanting to say, I don't know if any of you are in Ireland, in Roscommon in Ireland, but in November, I'm going to put details in the description. My good friend and mentor, Liz, who a lot of you will know because I've done so many videos with her, she is doing a weekend retreat in Boyle in Ireland the 15th to the 17th of November. And it came to me because her teachings have really helped me detach from negative thinking. I mean, now she obviously works with detaching from all thinking, um, and just being. And being in that, to really just be with the peace in your heart, you have to have kind of no thinking, to be honest. And anyway, she's doing a retreat, and I'll put the details in the description. So check that out if you are in the Boyle area of Ireland. But I want to go back to the releasing fear as well, because I think I mentioned this recently. I was when I went to the city, not used to going to the city. But not only did I go to the big city, but the car park was underground. And I thought, okay, I can cope with an underground car park. We have those, you know, you don't have to go to a city for that. But then this underground car park just kept getting lower and lower and lower, like 4 floors underground. And I was like, it was a gift from the divine, for sure. For me personally, I created it as a gift from the divine to help me process fear. Because every time we went down a floor, I could just feel my heart was beating a bit faster. I could feel my hands were shaking a bit more, and I could feel that my breath was getting a bit more labored. And, you know, I wasn't expecting it to keep going on. And it was just like, we're going to keep going, Deborah, until you overcome this fear. And when you see life like that, and you realize that that's why you have created the experience. Now, I created that experience. I'm very confident in my knowledge that I have created my own reality. So the bits that I less prefer are bits that are lessons for me. So what did I do? I want to share this. What did I do? Um, or what can we do in similar situations if you're in fear? Um, Obviously, use your breath. Slow your breath right down by inhaling as slowly as you can. And as you inhale, understand that that's not just oxygen coming in. Understand that your soul came into your body with your first breath, and your soul is going to leave your body with your last breath. What does that tell you about your breath? It's more than just oxygen, isn't it? We were taught at school that the oxygen comes in and goes to every cell of the body, and then we exhale carbon dioxide. Well, yes, true, but that's so much more than oxygen coming in. But yes, it does go to every cell of the body. The breath goes to every cell of the body. And when you can embody that understanding, it makes it more powerful. So wherever you need energy, because the breath that's coming in is your life force, because your body without your breath is not alive, right? So the breath coming in is your whole life force. And we want to maximize our life force. And one of the things that we associate with relaxation and feeling calm and peaceful is sighing. Do you ever come in from a busy day and sit down and go, oh, and the first thing you do is big exhalation. You're letting all the stress out and you're doing it slowly. And then your inhalation will be so much slower. And you're associating that sense of relaxation with the longer, deeper breath. We do it instinctively. Now, when you're fearful, what's happening is your breath is speeding up, isn't it? Right? Fear, anxiety, and fear is associated with short and shallow breaths. Think about it. If your breath is short and shallow, you're not taking in your life force. Well, where does your strength lie? Where does your power lie? It lies in your life force. Your life force is everything, right? So the more life force that you can bring into your body and into every cell of your body, then the stronger, more loving, more healing, more powerful, more joyful, more lifeful, is that a word? That you're going to be, you're going to experience, aren't you? Just by breathing in slowly, deeply, and mindfully. I think the mindfully is probably the most important thing. Um, it will help if you just breathe slowly. But when you understand that that is your soul talking to you and that you can maximize your life force energy by slowing the breath down and through the inhalation and slowing the exhalation down. And as you inhale, your intention is to send that life force to your heart, if your heart is pounding, or whichever part of your body, whichever part of your body. I do have a video on breathing yourself to greater health and happiness, or breathing yourself to higher states of being. I can't remember what I titled it, but I've only got one on breathing. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description. I have to make a note, otherwise I forget. um, Okay, so the breath is really important, but more important than the breath is the mindfulness behind the breath and understanding that when you inhale mindfully, you are inhaling your security, your safety, your protection, your level of consciousness. I mean, it's all there in the breath. Now, this probably hasn't. I mean, I've got two cards that I haven't turned over yet. I don't know what they are because I've got them upside down and I'm not feeling to turn them over yet. But I am feeling to go off on a little tangent because while we're talking about the breath, I'd love to share with you the Nadi Shodhana. It's a pranayama from yoga, which is basically about balancing. It's balancing the masculine and feminine energies, but we're on this topic of inhaling and using our breath to empower us. And so this is a pranayama, which means a breathing technique that can be used for balancing the masculine and feminine, but obviously that's also balancing the left and right. And it's just basically balancing, it's harmonizing. And when you're in a state of shock, despair, trauma, anxiety, what have you, then it's going to help balance your whole energy. So that's why I want to share it with you. And what we do is we use the thumb to block one nostril, and we have two fingers on our forehead, or we can say on our pineal gland, but in between the eyebrows or just above. And we can use the ring finger to block the other, but we're not going to block them both at the same time. Don't worry. The yogis among you will know this one already. So we can take a little break to enjoy it now. So we're going to inhale slowly, mindfully, making sure that we feel the belly expanding as the diaphragm expands. And then we can also understand that our rib cage is expanding, and we can visualize our heart expanding with it, so that we're actually filling our heart with the love of our life force. So if you put that visualization and that understanding behind it, it's going to make it so much more powerful. But we're going to inhale really slowly on one nostril while the other side is blocked, and our fingers are here. The pineal gland is our center of communication with our higher self, the non-physical world. It's our third eye. So we can also include our understanding of that, our love of the non-physical world, your connection to your guides, past over loved ones, your angels, or in my case, my Arcturians, your galactic family. It's up to you. You can add all of that in. So whichever bits resonate, just take it and bring it into your now moment, bring it into your Nadi Shodhana practice. Okay. People also refer to it as alternate breathing. If you can't remember the Nadi Shodhana. Okay, so this is blocked. We're going to inhale through one nostril. Just hold it for a second after the inhalation. You're going to, with the ring finger, block that side, open the other side, and exhale slowly. And now we're going to inhale through the side that we just exhaled from. Okay? Hold while you change your finger to thumb, remembering that's your life force, that love, that healing, all those beautiful things have come in. And we're going to exhale through the other side, exhaling anything that isn't serving you, exhaling trapped emotions, any beliefs. Remember, she's a let go card. So you're letting go of anything. The emotions are often attached to a thought. So you could let go of the thought that's causing the emotion. Just let go of whatever isn't serving you. You don't even have to think if you don't want to. So then we're going to inhale the same side that we exhaled. Feel the diaphragm expanding, feel the heart expanding. Just hold it for a little bit as you change finger and thumb. And then exhale out the other side. Inhale the same side. Hold it for just a couple of seconds. Enjoy the fullness of being. Change finger and thumb. Exhale whatever isn't serving you. Exhale the fear, the tension. Let's go a couple more times. Inhaling, holding, exhaling, changing over as we exhale. Inhaling, same side. Changing over. Exhaling. Beautiful. Beautiful. How do you feel? Got yourself some homework, haven't you? You can't do that just a few rounds, and the anxiety will go, the fear will go. Obviously, if you're driving or something like that, you can't be using your hands. Some people just do it down here, if they just want to do the block bits. I like to add the pineal gland because it is the third eye, because I love, embodying my multidimensional nature. But it's up to you, you obviously can create the practice as you see fit, you know. But I do urge you to add some mindfulness to it. Um, so whatever your situation, whatever you're wanting to let go of, you've got the slow, deep breath. And then if you really want that harmonizing, balancing feeling, then add the Nadi Shodhana, your alternate nostril breathing. So yeah, thank you, Queen of Swords. That was lovely. Let's see what's coming next. It's our destiny. Oh my goodness me. Out of the 4 cards, we have 3 major arcana. I've got truth cards now, and I hadn't seen these other 2. Um, Something told me not to look at them until we had done that. It's our destiny. Oh, I've got real truth bumps. It's our destiny. I think this card is just, this card is telling me personally now that what we've just done with the Nadi Shodhana is more powerful than we realize. So there's me showing you the basics of breathing, and this balancing one. And I'm adding mindfulness to it and understanding that it's life force. The message I'm getting is that we don't have a clue of our power. And I don't think we know, maybe scientifically. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some scientists out there that will say a few words, and I welcome them, obviously. But I just think us humans, we don't have a clue how or why these practices help us like they do. We can't explain them, but all we can say is I urge you to try new things out. So if that is new for you, try it. And after this video, have another go. Do it before you go to bed. Do it when you wake up. Do it when you feel fearful. Do it when someone's upset you, if you're triggered. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how or why. I don't have the answers. But this is our destiny card. And I do believe that just this mindfulness and these practices are just helping us connect with our divinity, because our destiny is the free will of our higher self. And we need to let that in, because our humans have been so programmed with what we think we want. Let go of that. um, we've really been programmed, haven't we, with how our life should be, could be, or how we think our lives should be, our expectations, what success looks like. What do we think success looks like? When somebody famously asked John Lennon, what do you want to be when you're older? And he just said, happy. That's success, isn't it? Happy and abundant. Yeah. So our destiny is our higher self. The desires of our higher self are not always the same as our human desires, or I should say, our human desires are not always in alignment with our higher self's desires. But to really find true peace, true harmony, true joy, true abundance, true health, we need to tap into the desires of our higher self. It's our destiny. And our souls chose, and that was last week's, wasn't it? Looking at life from a soul perspective. I'll put a link in the description to that if you haven't seen it yet. Our souls have got a plan for us this lifetime, and we don't realize that carrying out that plan is going to bring us the level of health, happiness, and abundance that we expect. Our humans can't fathom that. I know I use all the time the example of me reading tarot in a tent. When I went to school, nobody suggested that as a way of making a living. What do you want to be when you're older? I want to read tarot from a tent. No one, I didn't say that. I didn't know I wanted to do it, because I was obviously being programmed that I had to, I don't know, go to university, be a teacher, I don't know, do whatever I did. But I'm not saying anything's wrong. Nothing's wrong in our life, right? We follow the path, and the path teaches us, right? And what did the path teach us? That we don't want to do the things that we did when we were younger. And some of the things we did when we were younger are really part of who we are. And we need to differentiate which parts we're bringing forward and which parts we're letting go of. She's the intuition. So use your intuition to tap into what parts of your life and your past um, have brought you joy, excitement, and have filled you with that sense of purpose and meaningfulness. Bring them forward, and which bits have not served you? Which bits do you not resonate with? Which bits are not part of who you really are? Then let go of them so that we can find our divine path. This is about finding our divine path and finding what's right for you. And it won't be the same as what's for anybody else. I can give you advice till I'm blue in the face, but only the bits that resonate with you, that give you the truth bumps, are going to be relevant for you. And it's the same with anybody that we listen to. And, as I've said before in the beginning, children will say something and it will make us go, aha. Our teachers don't have to be spiritual gurus. Our teachers, as I said, are the trees, they're the children, they're the animals, they're the flowers, they're the clouds. We just need to trust our intuition, let go of our expectations and our programming, because the divine is talking to us in beautiful, beautiful ways, because it's all orchestrated by your higher self. It's your higher self. You are the whole universe in one human being, remember. So listen to your higher self. That's a beautiful message. So this is about rolling with the punches, what's going to happen for your soul to take you, for the universe to take you where your soul wants you to go. There could be some like rolling with the punches. I've said this before. You might have to leave relationships, leave places, leave jobs, leave friendships. I don't know. Do things that seem risky. Do things that are a little bit fearful. But there's a difference between the fear, because it's not the right thing for you to do, and the fear because it is the right thing for you to do. Like taking a leap of faith is always a bit fearful, right? Always a bit scary. But this is about rolling with all of that, and using your intuition to know, which direction to go in. It's beautiful because the last card is the Chariot. Now, the Chariot is a major arcana card, and he's very much about moving on. Now, there is another card in the deck, in the minor arcana, which is about moving on, very much physically in the physical world. He can represent physical moving on, especially if you're moving countries or changing jobs or changing relationships. That is moving on. But he's really talking about moving on to a higher level of understanding, a higher level of awareness, expanding your level of consciousness. Because look, he's risen above the duality. The black and white shows the duality of the physical world, the separation and the duality within the physical realm. And the stars on his and the moon on his canopy represent heaven, and the heavens and the higher realms and the non-physical realms. And he's really bringing the consciousness level that exists in the higher realms. He's bringing it through him, through his actions, through his thinking. High level consciousness thinking. She's let go of the things that are not in alignment with divine truth and bringing it into physical form. And that's exactly what we're doing, isn't it? We're accessing fifth dimensional levels of consciousness. How do you want to view it? It really doesn't matter. How do you want to word it? It doesn't matter. You pick which one resonates with you. Christ levels of consciousness. And then bring that level of consciousness into your now moment, into your thinking, into your words, into your actions. Because you know that the outside reality that you're experiencing is a reflection of your frequency and your level of consciousness. So if you want to improve something, then let go of the bits that are not really you, the bits that are not in alignment with your divine truth. Keep hold of the bits that are exciting you and take them forward with your thinking, your words, and your action. Because we can create miracles, and we are creating heaven on earth. And everybody's heaven on earth looks a little bit different depending on your beliefs. If everybody has the same belief, or if large number of people have the same belief, that's when it really gets concreted into the physical world, rather than just a few people having the belief. So now there are people living in heaven on earth, but the more of us that are conscious with our words, conscious with our thinking, conscious with our behavior, taking action on life affirming actions, life affirming beliefs, Mother Nature loving action, people loving action, animal loving action, self loving action, the most important, of course. It's all connected, isn't it? It's up to us to expand into higher levels of consciousness, to think powerful, healing, loving, freedom loving, sovereign thoughts. Be impeccable with our words. That's the second of the 4 agreements, isn't it? With Don Miguel Ruiz. Be impeccable with our words. Be mindful with our words and be mindful with our actions. And then you will find the people that you need that are resonating with that thinking, resonating with your words, and resonating with your actions. They will then be in your reality to co-create with. That's beautiful, isn't it? And that's how we create heaven on earth. He's bringing heaven. Heaven on earth is a level of consciousness. We need to access it to bring it through our thoughts, our words, and our actions into the physical world so that we can change the physical world. And that's how we do it. Wow. Wow. We can change the physical world, and that's how we do it. Thank you so much for, 1, getting to the end of the video, but 2, for your contribution to changing the world that we live in. Because, I feel quite emotional. Yeah, loving yourself, loving everything is helping. It's helping. So yeah, wow, interesting one today. You've got yourself some breathing homework. Enjoy. I'd love to hear your comments as always. And I love you all. Have a fantastic week. See you in the next video. Bye for now.